In particular, with autistic children and neurodivergent children, they have challenges in terms of the brain creating an emotional reaction that is appropriate for the here and now. So the brain has its coping strategies for events that happen in the present moment. And our brains are supposed to be able to experience events that are happening in the here and now with an emotion that is in alignment with the current situation. But what happens with emotional dysregulation is that we have a current situation, which is maybe somebody's asked us to put our jacket on because it's time to go to school. And your average child is going to be a little off to the side and maybe irritated a bit because they have to stop playing or needs a little coaxing. But that neurodivergent brain goes way over here and starts to have a meltdown. And that dysregulation causes so much upheaval and stress. And a thing to really understand is we're talking about a part of the brain that we don't consciously control. And that's where neurofeedback comes in. So neurofeedback is biofeedback, but specifically for the brain, that automatic functioning brain that produces that outsized reaction. So when we do neurofeedback, which is a passive form of brain training, it uses auditory feedback to let the brain know what it's doing moment by moment. And specifically, we want it to see when it's going way outside of what's appropriate for the here and now, and so that it can self-correct that. So when we add neurofeedback to our program to help that autistic child's brain, that neurodivergent brain, to improve its functioning, what we're doing is we're specifically communicating to that automatic functioning brain so that it can see what's maladaptive. And so the nice thing about adding the neurofeedback is that brain, instead of going way out here, starts to do this, slowly move inward, so that we can then do the behavior modification. We can do the identifying the emotions, labeling them, using words rather than actions. Because that brain is more re-regulated, it's able to focus, it's calmer.